It's approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
Here at Clark's Pets, we understand your pets. We take meticulous time to find out more about them. Dig deep into their world to understand their needs. We do research for knowledge of each pet, so you can trust Clark's Pets to provide you the best products and service for your pets, because we work hard to understand all of their needs. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
Chiefs owners
Hi, everyone.
of the
My name
most
is
difficult
Master Sergeant.
schedule in the NFL this year. And we are just being rejoined on Comcast 26 and ProView Networks. Had a little bit of tech diffs, but we are back. And, of course, if you're listening on 95.9 FM and AM 610, you've been with us the whole time. A lot of ways to watch or listen to the program. You got us, of course, 95.9 FM, AM 610. You get us on the TuneIn app. You get us at talkabq.com. If you missed the show live, you can get us on Spotify, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. You can watch us on Comcast 26, watch us on Studio519.com or ProView Network's YouTube page or ProView Network's Facebook page. So just about any way you want to get in touch with the boys, you can. Now back to the NFL Power Rankings, and this is the spot that I really disagree with right here, is the composite score. Some people have them higher, some people have them lower, but the composite score of all of these sports websites has the Kansas City Chiefs ranked second in the league, just a hair ahead of the Rams and Tampa Bay. While Kansas City Chiefs are a good team top to bottom, even without Tyreek Hill, they got a lot of weapons. I think their defense is suspect. I think their offensive line is suspect. And like I said, they have the hardest schedule in all of the NFL and the hardest division in all of the NFL. I see Kansas City floating around being like a 500 team. This is not a slight on former MVP, Super Bowl champ, Super Bowl MVP Patrick Mahomes. I think he's the real deal. He's inarguably a top 5, top 3 quarterback in the NFL. But I think Kansas City Chiefs are going to have a down year just because of their schedule. And you see this every year in the NFL that, people rise, people fall. And if you don't know about the rotating NFL schedule, this is how it works. If you get every year, the divisions rotate on who your in-year opponents will be, whether one year you draw the South in the NFC and the East in the AFC, et cetera, et cetera. But what you do, if you finish in first place in your division last year, you play all the other first-place teams the way they finish in their division from the previous year. Then also you have your rivalries, you have your hot matchup games, and all that coming together. Kansas City Chiefs have the hardest schedule in the NFL, and I just see Kansas City just barely floating over 500. It's going to be hard for them to tread water all year. But then again, they're going to be fun to watch. I think they're going to be playing from behind a lot. So you're going to get to see Patrick Mahomes slinging it all over the place. The Chiefs not being as dominant as before is good for, Patrick Mahomes fantasy football owners, because I see Kansas City going to have to trail a lot in the fourth quarter of a lot of football games this year. Coming right behind Kansas City on the power rankings is two teams that I think are the class of the NFC, is the LA Rams and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Both of these teams are loaded on paper. They're loaded in real life. They have Tampa Bay, of course, has the GOAT, Tom Brady. The Rams have the rejuvenated Matthew Stafford, got him out of Detroit, and look what happens when you get people out of Detroit. They immediately turn into winners. So congratulations, Matthew Stafford. You got a real team and a real organization around you. So, I mean, to me, the LA Rams and Tampa Bay, they're going to lose a couple close games, but they're going to dominate throughout the year. You know, the wild card is always, can your team stay healthy for a whole football season? If the LA Rams and Tampa Bay Bucks stay healthy throughout the whole football season, they're going to come in as fighting over the bye in the NFC, and they're going to do a lot of damage. The composite rankings have my squad, the Green Bay Packers, Go Pack Go, coming in 5th. And Packers have probably the best defense Aaron Rodgers has ever had, the best running game Aaron Rodgers has ever had, but probably the most depleted wide receiver core that Aaron Rodgers has ever had. So Green Bay, I think they're going to cruise into the playoffs. They're going to beat up on Detroit, beat up on Chicago, win a lot of close games with that good defense and that good running game. And Aaron Rodgers is going to be Aaron Rodgers. We all know the back-to-back MVP. We all know how talented he is. We all know he's the best regular season quarterback in the history of the NFL. Does Green Bay have what it takes this year to finally make a run and pay off Aaron Rodgers' air quote loyalty for staying in Green Bay, even though they did him dirty by getting rid of one of the best receivers in the NFL, Devontae Adams? Green Bay's prospects are looking really good. Like I said, they're going to float by. They're going to win a lot of games just from their defense and running game, and Aaron Rodgers is going to do Aaron Rodgers things all year, make smart decisions, not turn the ball over, elevate the play of the people around him. But I just personally, as much as I want to see Green Bay succeed, as much as fanboy Van wants to say they're a shoo-in for the Super Bowl again this year, Aaron Rodgers has proven time and time again that he's not a winner in the playoffs. He just turns into a completely different human being in the playoffs, especially big, high-pressure leverage games like the NFC Championship. I see Tampa Bay or LA Rams rising out of the NFC. Tampa Bay was my pick. I see Tampa Bay and Tampa Tom riding off into the sunset, winning another Super Bowl. Later in the program, we're going to hit the bottom 5, and then also last segment, we're going to talk about the middling teams, that big gray area where anything can happen in the NFL. And I got some hot takes for this middle group that we're going to hit in the 6 o'clock segment. When we get back, Forrest Stolting, the Isotopes, we're talking isotope baseball when we get back. You're listening to 2 Men On 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
A burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
Here at Clark's Pets, we understand your pets. We take meticulous time to find out more about them. Dig deep into their world to understand their needs. We do research for knowledge of each pet, so you can trust Clark's Pets to provide you the best products and service for your pets, because we work hard to understand all of their needs. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
The Sports Animal.
Welcome back to the program, Albuquerque. You're listening to Two Men On 95.9 FM and AM 610, The Sports Animal. We're in the John Lopez Real Estate and Coldwell Banker Legacy mobile studio as we are shooting live from ProView Networks today. Comcast 26, studio519.com. Check us out. You can see my slightly above average, handsome, probably solid Albuquerque 6 face on Comcast 26 if you would like. Got a group of heavy hitters today as we're doing a special Van and Friends episode as co-host Fred Slow is on assignment in beautiful and historic Las Vegas, New Mexico, and the birthday boy Robert Buck D. Gibson is in the other Vegas getting loose. We got a lawyer on retainer here at Two Men On, and I haven't heard from him yet, so I think Robert is still alive and safe and unincarcerated, so good news. Batting off for this lineup of heavy hitters joining the program, Mr. Everything at the Albuquerque Isotopes, Forrest Stolting. What's happening, my guy?
Oh, not too much, man. Just got done watching some BP out here on the Isotopes field, and excited for this 7-game homestand this week.
That is pretty sweet. Got some double-day baseball tomorrow, but before we get into that, let's talk about your New York Yankees, Forrest. They were swooning for a while. It seems like they've righted the ship. Are you a step back from that ledge, my friend, yet?
Oh, yeah. I've never been on the ledge, really, man. We've lost, I think, like 16 one-run games, something like that. And so we're just a couple of hits away from this being a complete non-story. So I'm trying to get a little healthy, too, get some pitchers back. So personally, I'm not too worried about the New York Yankees and their quest for a 28th World Series champion.
So how awesome is this watching Aaron Judge's home run chase? For my money, if he gets past Roger Maris, he is the true, real king of home runs because we know everyone else was juicing that's above Roger Maris.
Yeah, I would agree with that completely. I'm definitely of the school of thought where if you were caught juicing, everything you did while juicing is discredited. So, I mean, but watching Judge do this has been absolutely amazing. It seems like every at-bat he's got a chance to go yard, and I heard him talk about it last week saying, like, he's got to be locked in on every single pitch because he doesn't know how many pitches he's going to get per at-bat based on the situation in the game at that point. So he's just having to really lock in on every single pitch and not give any pitches away, let alone at-bats, if he wants to break this record. And I think he's got an excellent chance to because he's 7 away from tying it. And if he can just average 2 or 3 home runs over the next 3.5, 4 weeks, that's it right there. So
Aaron Judge is on pace as of today for 64.5 home runs, which will make him comfortably the home run king. Albuquerque's on pace for a good time tomorrow as the Isotopes have a doubleheader. What did we do to deserve day-night doubleheader in the middle of the week? How special is this?
Oh, it's going to be amazing. Yeah, luckily we had a rain out in El Paso a few weeks ago, and so we've had, since we're not going back down to El Paso for the rest of the year, we had to take on that game to make sure it was played because of standings purposes. And luckily we get a game at 4 o'clock tomorrow, then another one right after that. Both are going to be 7 innings. Gates are open at 3, so it should be a whole lot of fun down here at Isotopes Park for some day baseball.
The boys at 2 Men On have a rare day off as the Isotopes doubleheader kicks us off the air. So we're definitely going to be up at the lab having a good time with all the boys and the Isotopes. It's going to be a blast. Okay, what's going on in the promotion world this week for us? What can Isotopes fan expect to see throughout the week?
Yeah, so on Friday we have a Tecate Alte hat giveaway. First 2,500 fans will get those. Really cool Isotopes design on there, so that's going to be one you're not going to want to miss. And then Saturday we have our Star Wars night, so we're having some Star Wars characters at the ballpark. Our players will be wearing Star Wars jerseys, and then those jerseys will be auctioned off and signed by the players for charity after the game for 4 days. Benefits will go to incredibly adaptive MMA, which helps kids with certain disabilities learn MMA and other ways of being active in the community. And then on Sunday, we have a first responders night, which will kind of help us honor 9/11 as well. So we got a full weekend of events planned at Isotopes Park.
I'm really excited for Star Wars Day. I love when, like, nerd culture, dork culture meets sports culture. And, like, the best nights of the year are definitely the Marvel night, like we already had, and then the upcoming Star Wars night on Saturday. Like, how many people do you expect to get dressed out? Like, how many Vaders are going to be there? How many Leias are going to be there?
Oh, man, it's a great question, but it's an unanswerable question, really. I mean, just the pride and how many fans come out on each night, one of these nights, is just unbelievable to see. So it's quite fascinating, really.
What's the vibe like on the team? What's the vibe like in the locker room getting Winton back? I'm sure, he's the leader of the organization and everyone loves him. We're so proud of him. Like, the city of Albuquerque and all the Isotopes fans and especially his teammates, it felt like we're living vicariously through Winton as he got called up to the bigs. Now that he's back, what's the vibe in the locker room?
Oh, man, I mean, I was looking to be down there today when he walked in the clubhouse. I mean, obviously he got back with us a couple of days ago, but, I mean, first thing I saw when he walked in was that big old patented smile on his face, and so I can only think that having that smile and energy back in the clubhouse is giving these guys a little bit of oomph in their step. just because I know he's such a unifier and a great clubhouse leader in every sense of the word when it comes to talking and leading by example. So he's just the ultimate guy to have in the clubhouse. And I know our guys back there love having him around.
Fireworks on Friday. Fireworks on Saturday. Oh, wait, no, just Saturday. Excuse me. Hats on Friday, fireworks on Saturday, and then first responders on September 11th, Sunday. You know, being so far from New York and the events of 9/11, you know, it's something that the American experience really likes to highlight, and often we do it through sports because we got football and baseball going in September. NFL's about to kick off on the weekend, you know, the following September 11th. So that's really exciting. What does this mean to the city of Albuquerque, and especially the first responders, that they get highlighted like this on a day like this?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's obviously so important because they do so many great things all across the city and across the state to help our everyday lives much easier to live, for sure. I mean, they do so much and they sacrifice so much so that us everyday Americans can enjoy ourselves and go throughout our day-by-day lives without having any worries on a day-to-day basis, which is just so important to have. And we really cannot thank all the first responders enough for what they've done for the city of Albuquerque and the state of New Mexico and the United States as a whole.
Doubleheader tomorrow. Come hang out with the boys at the lab. We'll be hanging there having some oat sodas. You know, I don't miss day baseball at the lab, and I'm really excited. We get a bonus day game. There's no promotion on Thursday except for the fact that you get to go watch Isotopes baseball up at the lab, which I can't imagine a better thing to do with my life. Friday night, hats to the first 3,000 fans. Saturday, fireworks and Star Wars night. Sunday, first responders. What else is going on in the Topes world?
Yeah, that's you got it right there, man. It's a jam-packed. And then following Tuesday, we start a 6-game series with Oklahoma City. And it'll be the Dodgers affiliates, and we got plenty of action-packed coming along that week as well. But let's focus on this week and get everybody out this week. And so we have 13 games in 13 days pretty much.
Oh, I'm so excited. How's your disc golf game, Forrest?
Oh, it's on par right now, man. I've been traveling. Went up to Trinidad, Colorado a couple of weeks ago. Went up to Santa Fe, played North Mesa. Went up to Red River, played at their course up there on the ski slopes. Unbelievable, man. So just New Mexico's got a lot of good disc golf courses in the mountain areas, and it's just been a blast to play them and enjoy, and help my game out a ton, that's for sure.
Forrest Stolting, anything else to let us know about before we let you go?
Game's at 6:35 tonight in El Paso, Chihuahua, so hope to see you out here.
Yeah, we got to get El Paso back for what they did to our New Mexico United. Forrest Stolting, sure. Mr. Everything at the Isotopes. I will see you tomorrow for some day baseball, baby.
Can't wait, man. We'll see you then.
When we get back, KOB TV's very own Brandon Ortega joins us to talk a little sports. You're listening to 2 Men On 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a #1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the front.
And the sports animal. Big shout out to New Mexico Pinon Coffee, everything that they do for the community. You can help out New Mexico Pinon Coffee by helping out Locker 505. Bring your donation of new or gently used clothing items to any New Mexico Pinon location. Get 10% off of your order, whether it's a latte or beans or merch or a scone, whatever. Make a donation and show them that you posted on social media and you tagged Locker 505 and New Mexico Pinon Coffee, get 25%. 25%. That's all of New Mexico Pinon's profit margin. You're going to send them into the poorhouse, but send them into the poorhouse for a good cause. Speaking of good causes, this guy is always fighting the good fight. Star of TV and radio, back-to-back-to-back New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year. My favorite, your favorite, KOB TV's very own Brandon Ortega. What's happening, my guy?
Hey, buddy. It's been a great day off. Had a nice little bike ride through a good part of Albuquerque, and now I'm getting ready to make some dinner for the fam.
How exciting. Well, thanks with your busy day and your busy day off for joining me and the program on a special Van and Friends episode. We just had this talk earlier that you're getting into biking. Like, how deep cover are you going into the biking? Like, do you have the padded tights and then, you know, the breezy bike uniform, or you just, like, go in your basketball shorts?
I think the tights and all that kind of stuff is phase 2. I do have a helmet. I am playing it safe.
so I at least have a helmet. And I was just Googling last night some sort of basket or some sort of compartment I could put on the back of my bike so I could do like grocery runs or, just little errands where I can carry things. Because I do have a backpack I always wear. But, man, it adds on some more heat when you got the backpack on. So just started it last week. We were talking about it. Wife and I rode down the Arroyo through northeast Albuquerque, and we're having a blast. It's something we can do together on Wednesdays. We both are off on Wednesdays, and our son still has the training wheels on, so we'll be kicking those off, and he'll be going on long rides with us before we know it.
All right, Brandon, I just wrote down on my notes here, 2 men on bike outfit for Brandon Ortega. So I'm going to get with our friends at Graphic Connection and get you a little 2 men on sponsored bike outfit.
Love it.
Sweet. There's some chinks in the armor in New Mexico's best football teams as Cleveland, La Cueva, Centennial, Rio Rancho all already have a loss. Is this just more parity, or are these just tough matchups for these stud teams?
Well, it's funny because those 3 teams have all lost to each other. Cleveland lost to Centennial. Centennial lost to La Cueva. La Cueva lost to Cleveland. So, yeah, as a high school football fan, as someone that's going to be covering these guys all the way to the state championships, I would be so fun to see these 3 teams standing towards the quarterfinals, semifinals, and getting to duke it out again because it's been a really fun first 3 weeks of high school football. We have another great week ahead. 1 game on Thursday with Del Norte and someone else. Oh, boy, I'm spacing right now. I think Del Norte and St. Pius are on Thursday.
So you got a couple days to figure it out.
It's jam-packed, though, on Friday. I mean, we literally just in the Metro alone, we've got a game in Rio Rancho. Belen and Los Lunas are hosting games. Albuquerque's got 4 games in town. You got Milne, Community, and Wilson. And then Albuquerque Academy will be hosting a game Friday Night Lights against Bloomfield, which is a battle of unbeatens. So there's so many good games to choose from just in Albuquerque alone.
Of all these top-heavy teams that, you're going to expect to be around all season, who's impressed you the most so far? Who has that championship caliber so far in this early season?
Well, the teams that we talked about, La Cueva, Cleveland, who's the defending champion, hadn't lost since 2019. Teams, you expected those 2 teams to be good. Centennial, I think, surprised some teams, upsetting Cleveland in week 1. But the team that's probably impressed me the most, just because you weren't sure what you were getting out of them coming in, was Volcano Vista. They're 3-0. They've beaten teams like Las Cruces and to start the year, and now they're going to get La Cueva on Friday. So that's, in my book, game of the week. Wilson Stadium, 7 o'clock for high school football. In the Metro, easily the game of the week. Volcano Vista at La Cueva. So that's going to be a big measuring stick. Volcanoes look great with their quarterback really, really playing well. And the defense has been steady as usual under Chad Wallen. So, yeah, Volcano definitely, in my book, has impressed me the most, has just maybe surprised me a little more than because they've been great for a long time. They've been a playoff perennial team, but the last few years they've lost huge groups of seniors, and then they bring up another group of seniors that didn't have a ton of experience, and those seniors have played well. So, like Elliot Paskett-Bell being a perfect example, played receiver last year, is their starting quarterback this year, and it has looked like one of the best quarterbacks in the Metro so far.
KOB TV's very own Brandon Ortega joining us talking some high school football. A name that we haven't mentioned yet, and a name that I will progressively sing from the mountaintop all year, is the led by my cousin, Coach Ken Stevens, and the Hobbs Eagles. 3 statement wins so far, 3-0, sitting number 4th in the state on Max Preps. Has Hobbs sticked out to you so far as a contender?
Absolutely, and honestly, when I think back to last year, the score against Cleveland, they lost to Cleveland in the quarterfinals last year. I felt like that score was a bit deceiving of how good of a game that was for the majority of the quarterfinal matchup, and Hobbs brought back a good amount of players, and they'll be in the mix for sure. I mean, they beat teams like Artesia and Roswell convincingly 51-7 over the Coyotes last week. Artesia was a shootout, and they pulled away 69-48. So, yeah, Hobbs for sure will be in that conversation, top 5, top 4 teams, as they just continue to steamroll their way through. They got Levington coming up next. Rio Rancho and Las Cruces after that. And then Centennial. So, I mean, they've got a bit of a gauntlet coming up the next 3 or 4 weeks. That's going to be playoff caliber games right there within the regular season. So, yeah, got to give a lot of love and respect to the Hobbs Eagles. They're looking good so far.
Looking to be the class of their class, let's move on to my other cousin high school football coach, and Jamie Ramirez and the Portales Rams. Do they look like the team to beat in their division?
They've been perennially the team to beat in their classification. They're looking great so far. Portales will be very good. Albuquerque Academy and Bloomfield. In that classification, that's the best game this week. 2 unbeaten teams clashing in Albuquerque. So, yeah, that classification's top-heavy for sure. There's going to be some teams giving them a run for their money, but Portales always is very good.
Brandon, you have the time to cover any other stories, or is it all high school football all the time?
High school football and Lobo sports are what are taking up the majority of my time. Obviously, New Mexico United's got a playoff push right now, keeping track of those dudes every single week. The Isotopes are always fun to cover. They're in the final stretch of their season as well. High school football and Lobo sports, I've done stories on volleyball, women's soccer, and, of course, football quite a bit through the training camp. Yeah, that's been the majority of the stuff you can see on KOB.com/sports right now. We're also gearing up for NFL now. I've got a special announcement that I really didn't plan on talking about, but it's happening this week. KOB is changing up the format of their 4:30 show on Sundays leading up to Sunday Night Football. It's going to be branded Sunday Night in New Mexico. Football Night in New Mexico. Like Football Night in America is what we have on NBC. Football Night in New Mexico will be at 4:30 on KOB. Danny Gonzalez will be our special guest this week, making predictions for Sunday Night Football with his Cowboys taking on the Bucks. So, yeah, I'm definitely gearing up for some more NFL coverage because that's going to be a different format. We're going to show a lot more NFL highlights to start the 4:30 show. It's not going to be just like a sportscast, NFL-centric show throughout the thing with myself, Tessa Mentes, and a newbie, Lauren Green, who just joined the KOB news team, an outstanding athlete in her own right at Volcano Vista as a track star and went on to run at Nevada Reno. So that's an exciting project we got coming up on Sunday.
Nevada Reno, that sounds like a nickname for someone from that state. Come here, you little Nevada Reno.
Come on, Reno. Let's go.
Come here, little Nevada Reno. Get over here. Brandon Ortega, anything else? Anything else before we let you go?
No, man. Just going to enjoy today and the day off tomorrow before we gear up for some more high school football on Thursday. And then, of course, Lobos rocking the Red Out game on Friday. I'm sure you're going to be talking a lot about that throughout the week. It was fun hanging out with Danny Gonzalez. So I rode my bike from Uptown to the UNM football conference at the stadium. That was my halfway point. I hung out and listened to all the Lobo coaches, and then I came back home. So, excited. It's going to be a big week for Albuquerque, centering around the Red Out game, Lobos versus Boise State for the football game. So KOB.com/sports, a lot of coverage for a lot of stuff going on throughout the week.
Cesar Chavez and University is going to be rocking on Friday as we have doing the show live from Tope Stadium, then going right across the street to support our Lobos. Going to be a lot of fun. Brandon, where can the friends of the show find you online and on air?
KOB.com/sports. New Mexico game day every Friday night, check us out Friday at 10:30, breaking down highlights and scores from all over the state in high school football and other high school sports. Cleveland football is our special guest. They're playing on Saturday, traveling to Las Cruces, so we'll hang out with the Storm. Robert Garza and some of the Cleveland football players are the special guests on New Mexico game day. So, yeah, it's going to be a fun week on KOB.
KOB TV's very own Brandon Ortega, thanks for being a friend, and thanks for being a friend of the show, my dude.
Love you, brother. Talk to you soon.
Love you too, my man. When we get back, this is going to be a fun one. I don't know if you know a lot about rugby here in Albuquerque, but the premier rugby team here in Albuquerque, they have a lot of fun with it, and we're going to have a lot of fun with it when we get back. Joel Uevano of the Albuquerque Aardvarks joins us. You're listening to Two Men On 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot.
It's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Dream Style Roofing tops them all. When your roof's worn out and needs to be replaced, we're gonna do it right, put a smile on your face. There.
We would.
Would ya? It's getting a little freaky in here. You trying to send a signal to my friend Joel, who's waiting online right now?
No.
No? Okay. Well, I'm getting a little randy. I'm getting distracted here. We had a lot of fun at Howie's last night. We did our air quotes celebrity industry draft. Had a lot of fun with it. If you heard us on the program yesterday, you could tell how much fun we're having with that. And then congratulations to myself, Fred, Buck D, and 9 friends of the show, as we're doing a friend of the show league to win some prizes from our partners and sponsors. Had a lot of blast at Howie's last night, and we will have a blast at Howie's every Monday going forward, as the boys will be doing our show live from Howie's and some Monday Night Football. Speaking of fun, not a lot of people have as much fun in the city of Albuquerque as the Albuquerque Aardvarks, whether it's the meme master Joel in his upper echelon Facebook page, or if it's on the pitch, or if it's at a rugby social. These guys do it right. Welcome to the program, Joel Luevano. What's happening, my guy?
Well, thank you for the slow jams. Really set the mood. So I don't know where to go from here, but I'm ready. Let's go.
Well, it's pretty ironic because Stephanie played that sweet, sweet, sexy music, and you got a new license plate that I can only translate into BJFN.
Yeah, or it's BJFN.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah, so FN could be fun. Right? And, it could be a lot of things. I mean, a lot of creative people out there. I can't think of anything specifically, but so I've been getting a lot of honks today. Let's just
I
say
bet
that.
you have been. You need to have a reverse bumper sticker, like honk if you promise you are not horny.
Right.
Please take me
Honk
seriously.
if
I didn't
you-
create this license plate.
Could I get like a, I don't know, what could I put on there that would like kind of tone people down, kind of to throw them off a little bit?
I don't know.
So they
I
don't
think
get
you're
so hot
stuck.
about it.
There's no way
I'm just
you
gonna
can't
drive around
interpret
with
that
license
plate sexually.
blaring
That's
the
all you can
music
see.
that you just played.
Yeah, that's your ongoing soundtrack forever. Hey, big news in Albuquerque Aardvark world. Bumped up, promoted to Division II. How about that, my man?
Yeah, promoted to Division II. We, just a little rocky story for everyone. We had a few rough years there. We were questioning if the team was going to keep going or not, and we just, pulled the team up by the bootstraps, so to speak, and had an undefeated season, really strong. Fell a little short in the playoffs, but we did well enough that they moved us to Division II, and we'll be rivaling with Las Vegas, Nevada, Phoenix, Red Mountain, and Tempe. So it's going to be a lot of awesome weekend getaways for our away games. And, of course, we're going to host them when they come here and show them a good time.
Hold on. I went to a Red Mountain match, and you already demolishing your competition. How do you get moved up to a team that you've already beaten?
They got moved up, too. We beat. So they actually came with us. Because little sore subject, but they did beat us in the playoffs. So we were up, I believe, and I could be totally wrong on this number, but we were up like 30-something to 12 in the half, and we, that classic saying, you can help me out here, Van, you snatched defeat from the jaws of victory, so to speak.
Yes.
But it was it was a necessary step, and we're happy with our season.
I'm a big shoulder shrug, you can't win them all guy. So that's my spoonful of medicine right there. How did you guys have this ascension? Where did this growth start and this, upping your game on the pitch?
Well, and this is going to sound very, butterflies and rainbows, but really it was because of the support of Albuquerque and the media and the local businesses and everything just really made it a good place for people to come and play and play rugby and be merry, if you will. And, we couldn't have done it without the city really, getting behind the team. And we're trying to do our best to represent Albuquerque, both locally, nationally, and internationally. We built up the brand pretty strong.
Okay, I gave you an opportunity to say it's all from our doing. I'm writing this down. Joel hurt my feelings today.
Right. Absolutely. We'll probably get like a new recruit from this, so
it's all.
I'll give you your little usual kickback.
That's fine. Okay. When's the next time the Aardvark's going to be on the pitch? How can Albuquerque show up and support?
Well, we might have an exhibition between now and October, but that is a perfect segue to October 29th. We'll be hosting a tournament, men's and women's tournament. And most likely, I don't want to say the location just yet, but just follow our social media and website, for the specific details. But that'll be October 29th, and it's going to be so it just happens to be around the Halloween weekend, so it's always a fun time with teams coming from Utah, Colorado, Arizona, so on and so forth. That'll be the next time. So we're kind of in training, kind of off-season training, but then our official season starts around February.
Okay. Do you expect like other teams to dress up in their Halloween costumes while they're on the pitch, or is it just strictly uniform only?
Well, let me tell you a story.
Okay, it's got to be less than a minute story.
Okay. Let me tone it down. We had a luchador incident where a guy tried to play with a luchador mask, and it didn't go very well for him because not quite the peripherals that you would require.
Yeah, really got to keep your head on a swivel when you can't see out of your own mask. Joel, where can the friends of the show follow the Aardvarks?
Aardvarkrugby.com. A lot of contact information on there. Aardvark Rugby on social media, all the socials. You see the memes and whatnot. Phone number, email, so on and so forth. And I did want to say, too, we just had a tournament in Santa Fe 10s. 10 on 10. Rugby's normally 15 on 15. Right. And the Aardvarks were able to win that tournament, so we're pretty happy about that.
Of course you did, because you're the best in the Southwest. Congratulations on all your success, Joel, on and off the pitch. Thanks for being a friend, and thanks for being a friend of the show.
All right. Love you. Take care.
Love you, brother. Talk to you soon. When we get back, voice of the Lobos, Rob Portnoy, joins us to talk a little Lobo football, celebrating that victory and looking forward to the Redout game on Friday. You're listening to Two Men On 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We're taking a look at traffic right now.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company. Dream style roofing tops them all. When your roof's worn out and needs to be replaced, we're gonna do it right, put a smile on your face. There at home, things are looking up when you get your roof done by someone you can trust. Dream Style, a company name that's been around forever. No one does it better. You need a new roof, you know who to call. Dream Style Roofing tops them all.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS Network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Now betting for the sports animal, your afternoon drive. Number 2, Men On, Van Nunley and Fred Slow. And in the on-deck circle, Robert Buck D. Gibson.
This is Two Men On.
Coming back with the music. I just, Steph, you're a wild card today, girl. I
It's
never
just
know
like
what you're about. I never know what
whole
you're about
bunch
to
of
do over here.
random.
1 hour in the books of a special Van and Friends episode of Two Men On, right here on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. The other half of Two Men On, Fred Slow, was up on assignment in beautiful, historic Las Vegas, New Mexico. And in the on-deck circle, Robert Buck D. Gibson is in the other Vegas celebrating his own birthday. So if you know Buck, send him a birthday shout-out. He'll be back with us on Friday at the lab. We wouldn't be able to do what we do without our partners and sponsors in the community, one of them being the YMCA. And you know the boys start our days at the YMCA, and we highly recommend you do too. 2 great facilities in the Albuquerque area, and what they do for the community is absolutely phenomenal. We love being part of the YMCA. A guy who does the YMCA, voice of the Lobos, Rob Portnoy, joins us. What's happening, my guy?
It's been a really long time since I've done the YMCA. Really long.
Not in public, at least, under people's guise.
I have a disguise.
How's that? Oh, smart. Very smart. If you're going to do the YMCA 50 years after the fact, you probably need a disguise. How's that, Rob? How's the golf game? We haven't swung them in a long time. You getting out?
No, man, it's on the shelf. I have to acknowledge that I've been battling some tendonitis in my forearm, like the traditional standard garden variety tennis elbow. It's nasty, but you know what? I mean, once training camp starts, it's full bore anyway, and so a good time to heal. There you go.
One of my mini majors when I was hopping around college was sports medicine, and I'd like to tell you, Robert, that tennis elbow is medial epicondylitis. So it sounds like you got yourself a bout of medial epicondylitis.
That is more knowledge than I had before this call started. I knew it was tendonitis. Now I know very specific information, and it could be helpful.
Hey, usually when you get off the show with us, you're dumber, but look what's happening today. How about that?
I would absolutely reject that notion. I've always picked up, a click or two on the smart meter after being on with the boys.
Oh, my goodness. I love the compliment. Speaking of compliments, there's a lot of compliments to go round about Lobo football and their opening season performance. What's the one big thing? What do you lead with when you're talking about that match?
The big boys, the guys up front on the offensive side of the ball. Coach Gonzalez said he thought he had the best O-line in the 3 seasons, this being his third, that he's been the head man. And he said that he felt like Saturday's performance was the most physical play that he's seen from the O-line since he arrived back on campus. So that's great news. I think that the offense clearly starts with being able to run the ball. That's a Coach Long philosophy that goes way back, and Coach Gonzalez completely subscribes to it, and he wants his team to run it first. And if they can push people around the way they pushed Maine around, it would be amazing. Now, we understand Maine's FCS. They're moving up in class on Friday night, that's for sure, with Boise State.
Miles Kendrick, 14 of 17, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. I mean, he just puts it in people's hands, whether it's his team or the other one. He wasn't asked to do a lot in that game, but did you like what you saw out of Miles?
I think your observation is on point in terms of the things that he was asked to do. I thought he did beautifully. Coach Gonzalez assures us the 2 interceptions are teachable moments and very correctable things. He said the first one, Miles had predetermined where he was going to go with the ball instead of reading the play. He said they ran that very thing multiple times over the course of the game after that first series, and he read it perfectly and got the ball to the right location. He forced a throw up against the clock as the Lobos were trying to be really aggressive and putting the pedal to the floor right before the end of the first half, and it was a dangerous throw, and he put it in a bad spot. He's got to miss that, long and wide. Only his guy can catch it. That sort of deal. Very teachable stuff. So Coach G was really happy with Miles' performance. The thing I liked the most was the key throws in a spread option offense he made perfectly. Okay, what I'm talking about, Van, is like the slants, the swing passes, the bubbles, the jailbreaks, those kinds of things which are staples in this type of offense. You need to hit the guy in stride. You can't have the guy slanting over the middle, reaching to his back hip for the football. You can't have the running back swinging out of the backfield, doing a 360 spin because he gets turned around to catch the ball because he threw it in the wrong spot. He was on point. I saw it all through camp. I saw it on Saturday, and that's really encouraging.
All right. I haven't seen Deebo Samuel and Luke Wysong in the same room at the same time. Are we looking at the exact same player? Because he was a lot of fun to watch this past game. And is this the kind of usage we're going to expect out of this talented young man?
Boy, what a comparison. He certainly doesn't have Deebo's body type, but he absolutely has Deebo's skill set. Yes, they're going to use him in every way possible. And the beauty of it, now, imagine this. If Miles Kendrick runs it as efficiently and effectively himself as he did on Saturday, moving forward, that means your quarterback is a dangerous runner, both keeping it in designed runs and keeping it in the zone read. And then you add into it a really dangerous lead back, whether it's, Sherrod White, whom we saw on Saturday. Nate Jones is coming back for Friday night. It could be Christian Washington, who looked terrific. So that's the give piece, right? Then you motion the guy you just mentioned into the backfield, and Luke Wysong becomes the pitch guy. And what do you do if you're the defense? Any three of those guys can make a play. So that's really exciting to think about.
The defense put up a goose egg. The defense from Coach G and Coach Long is supposed to be their strong suit. Does this set the table for the rest of the season? Is this the expectation? Shutouts and single-digit scoring?
That would be amazing. I think that's a little aggressive, even for the most optimistic viewpoint.
That's
but
me.
This was a wonderful start against an FCS team. the last two FCS opponents, the Lobos had struggled with a little bit, and they did not blow them out. I thought it was a big deal that New Mexico, put the hammer down against this team, pushed them around on both sides of the ball, and was clearly better in every phase. The defense finished top 50 nationally, 44th overall in total defense last year. There is no reason to think that they can't be in that neighborhood or even better this season because they have more than half of their starters from last year back. Those guys are going to be better, and I thought the opening week performance was a really good sign.
Hey, I know Coach G pretty well, and if they don't improve on last year's defense, and he won't sleep a wink all year,
I think that's spot on.
high standards from that man.
We talk about the top 50 performance. It's a huge leap from the year before and a monster leap from the first season, the 2020 COVID season. Well, he's like, yeah, it's cool. 44 is cool, but, we want top 25. We want top 15. And he's right. He's thinking back to the 2000s, the heyday under Coach Long, and that's where the defense was. It was perennially top 25, occasionally top 15, and why not? Why not?
Yeah, I don't see why not either. They got the brains for it. They got the bodies for it. We're going to find out all year. Elevator pitch. In the least words possible, how does UNM upset Boise on Friday?
Take care of the ball first and foremost.
Boom.
Number one. The most concerning thing from Saturday's game was the 3 fumbles. Luckily, the Lobos recovered them all, and obviously the 2 picks. And I think there was even one other throw that probably Miles would like to have back, even though it was completed. Those things against a good team like Boise, disaster. They had special teams mishaps. Twice punts were blocked. Touchdowns resulted. That happened against Boise last year. That happened. That can't happen, obviously. They've got to run the ball. Clearly, if they run the ball, they can get Boise in a position where they can take some shots down the field. They're going to need to hit a couple of big plays here and there.
Corner of Cesar Chavez and University is going to be rocking this Friday as we got the boys live from the Isotopes, and then we go right across the street to University Stadium at 7 o'clock as New Mexico is going to give Boise State a run for their money. It's a red out. Everyone wear your red. Speaking of wearing red, what does your closet look like, Rob? Is it just literally all red? This is the easiest day for you is wear red day?
Literally. Yeah. The only thing that's not red is things that are white with red on it.
Voice of the Lobos, Rob Portnoy. Thank you, my friend.
See everybody for the red out.
I'll be there. The friends of the show will be there. The boys will be there, and we will be loud, and we're going to lead UNM to an upset victory and keep the momentum of this season going. When we get back, put your coffee down because you don't need it. Bring in some energy with John Lopez at John Lopez Real Estate when we get back. You don't want to miss this one. You're listening to 2 Men On 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This message brought to you by the New Mexico Department.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
De Leon delivers. And that one's hit to where it won't be caught. He hit that one so high.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
A burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
Here at Clark's Pets, we understand your pets. We take meticulous time to find out more about them. Dig deep into their world to understand their needs. We do research for knowledge of each pet, so you can trust Clark's Pets to provide you the best products and service for your pets, because we work hard to understand all of their needs. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am an Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
Turbo Threads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums.
Welcome back, Duke City. You're listening to Two Men On 95.9 FM and AM 610, The Sports Animal. Also downtown at ProView Networks in Studio 519. You can see us on Comcast Channel 26, YouTube, ProView Network, Facebook, ProView Networks. You can catch us anywhere. And if you can't catch us live, it's okay. Spotify, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, we're on everything. Speaking of on everything and everywhere, the busiest guy in Albuquerque that I know, we finally nailed him down, finally got him back on the program. You know his name already because every show that we do is from the John Lopez Real Estate and Coldwell Banker Legacy Studio. Welcome back to the program, Mr. John Lopez. Crickets. John, you with me? A check a one, a check a two. Steph, we got John on the line. Okay, I guess we don't have John on the line. Got some tech diffs here. Let's see. Do we have him back, Steph? Okay, I just gave you the best introduction ever, John, and you missed it. but we're no need to do it again because everyone knows who you are already. Welcome back to the program, Mr. John Lopez. What's happening, my guy?
Well, guys, I'm super excited to be back on the radio with you guys. It's been a busy summer. I've been running with the kids, running with the real estate, making magic and changing the world. You know how I go.
Yeah, we do, brother. You're always doing something for the Albuquerque community. You know, real estate's probably, fourth or fifth on your list? You're putting on concerts. You're putting on wrestling events. You're sponsoring boxers. You're doing fundraisers. You're throwing concerts. What don't you do, my guy?
You know, I'm super, super excited. You know, right now I'm excited because I'm at Salon 10 at the corner of Eubank and Candelaria watching my daughter get her hair done by her auntie in one of the coolest little boutique shops that you will ever see. So anybody out there who wants unbelievable service, you got to come to Salon 10. But that's the quick little plug I had to say it in here because they gave us such a great deal here and they're so affordable. I wanted to talk about this year, the concert that we're doing at the Dirty Bourbon, October 25th. It's going to be huge. It's going to sell out, and we're going to raise tons of money for the St. Jude's Research Hospital and cancer research for kids. I'm so excited about this. You know my passion for helping people and helping anybody we can, and this one was just so huge to be able to work with Mark and the Dirty Bourbon on putting on this huge concert.
Well, you're going to hear us talk about this concert coming up a lot as the boys will be doing our program live from Dirty Bourbon on October 25th for a great cause. You know, anything that John has going on in the community, we love to highlight, and you're always doing something for the Albuquerque community. So are you just hanging out in the lobby of the salon, or you got your feet up getting a pedicure? What's going on, my dude?
You know what? As a father of 6, it seems like I'm always running. As soon as I take my daughter with getting her hair done here at Salon 10 on Eubank, I'm heading straight home, picking up little Aiden. He's my little sophomore that has a football game tonight. Hope Christian in the house. We're going to be at Milne, killing it at 7 o'clock. We're going to see him go out there and bang some helmets and make some magic. And then after that, come back home, eat dinner, go to bed, wake up, and do it again.
Yeah, baby, I love it. You are a hustler. You are a grinder. You're always out there doing something. I saw you just listed another $3 million house. Is that right?
Well, no, not quite. You know, I mean, I closed the first ever $3 million house last week. It's the first one that has ever happened in the Albuquerque and surrounding areas, MLS. So now we have the $3 million comp. That is so huge. That is a big deal for our MLS. But the house I just listed is only $2.65 million. So,
it's only $2.65. I see.
So modest.
I know, he's a modest
guy. But the $3 million one, let's talk about that. It's something worth giving it a few seconds because of the fact that New Mexico's growing, Albuquerque's growing, and in the history of our MLS, there's never been a residential closed deal for $3 million. Now, if you search it, there's one. Of course, I was the listing broker, which I've got to brag a little bit about because that's history in the making. And Adriana Baird brought the buyer. So the two agents that closed the deal for $3 million first ever was us two. And it's kind of history in the making. So I got to brag a little bit about that one, if you don't mind.
Hey, of course you do. You brag about your real estate prowess. You brag about helping the Albuquerque community. You come on here and brag about whatever the hell it is you want to brag about. So what about the majority of our listeners who can't afford a $3 million house or a $2.65 million house? What's the market like for average Joes like me, John?
You know what? I'll tell you what. The market's hot right now. We've increased our inventory from 382 up to 982 as of 6 a.m. this morning. Interest rates did spike a little bit, which gave us a little bit more time for us to, adjust to the market. And that way we can literally be able to find anybody a house now. It's still a little tough under the $200,000 range, but around $200,000 and above, we are golden. We can find a house for pretty much any buyer right now. We just need you to call your realtor, need you to get with your lender, need to get you qualified, and we'll get you into a house. We'll get the American dream started up ASAP.
The last few months, a couple incremental bumps in interest rates. What does this mean for the market?
Well, all it really did was it caused a lot of people to take a step back and slow down a little bit. And that really helps the everyday buyer, because there for a while, there was about 4 months where you couldn't find a house. There was 10 offers on the house. There was all kinds of stuff going on where poor people couldn't even find a house even if they tried. And that is it's a hard market. Right now, it's given us some time to go ahead and be able to find you a home.
All right, let's segue from real estate to the gridiron. Mitch Trubisky was named the starter for your Pittsburgh Steelers. Are you comfortable with that, or you already chanting "We want Kenny"?
I'll be honest with you. I think that was a good move. I think it's a really good move. Yes, we wanted our superstar to start off as a superstar, but he had some adjusting that he had to do. And with that said, we don't need anybody to get hurt trying to, go out, do too much pressure when you get to that level of football. That league is it's a lot more because everybody's talented, everybody's coached, everybody has heart, and it's a different level for these guys when they go to that next level. So I was okay just saying, hey, let's ease him into it. He'll be in by midseason is my guess.
That would be the smart play. Let him get his sea legs, let him get some experience, and I don't think Mitch Trubisky is as bad as a lot of prognosticators do, but if they start going 500 or they dip below 500, those chants of "We want Kenny" is coming. Unfortunately, I don't want to break your heart here, John, but I got the Pittsburgh Steelers missing the playoffs by a game or two. Sell me on why the Steelers are going to make it to the playoffs and make some noise.
Because we're a legacy team, baby.
Boom.
We could have a team full of fives, but we figure out how to win. That's what you get when you come from a place like the Real Steel out in Pittsburgh. Those guys don't know how to give up, and that heart and that passion alone will overcome mediocrity. So even though we may not have the team that we're quite ready to have our franchise team coming along, I still think we'll still make the playoffs. Not sure how far we'll go, but I have a lot of confidence that you'll be buying me a steak dinner at Ruth's after the first playoff game that we made, because if we don't, I'll be buying you.
All right, I love it. I'm writing this down right here. Steak dinner with John for Steelers playoffs. Boom. All right, where does anybody curious about real estate, whether it's buying, selling, renting, being employed in the industry, how do they get a hold of you, John?
I'm pretty easy. All you have to do is Google John Lopez ABQ, or you can give me a call at 505-991-3386. That's 505-991-3386. I apologize for the noise in the background. I love coming into the studio and doing what we do down there. Just with the busy life, we kind of have to do it on the run, so I appreciate your patience with my phone radio voice.
Hey, no worries, man. We'll take you in any form that we can get you, John. We really appreciate you. We appreciate everything you do for the Albuquerque community. We'll get you out to another live remote sometime. We'll get you out to Howie's on a Monday or New Mexico Pinon on a Wednesday or any other number of places that we're at, maybe Hollow Spirits on a Friday. But anything else to say to the friends of the show before we let you go, John?
Absolutely. You know what I mean? Everybody right now is a little worried about the real estate. Just understand this. We should have 4,500 homes on the market. We have less than 1,000. Don't worry about it. We're steady. We have an influx of businesses bringing in great job, middle management, upper management. Our future is looking great. So the higher interest rates, don't worry about it. If you want to know what your house is worth, just go to www.CasaWorth, CASAWORTH.com, and it's free. You can upload your information. It'll update you emails regularly. Nobody will bug you or drip on you, and you'll have my number to give me a call if you want me to come in person and fine-tune that number and really see what the market will do. Other than that, thank you guys for having me on the show. Love you guys. Love ABQ. We'll talk to you guys soon.
All right, appreciate you, John. Appreciate you and everything you do for the Albuquerque community. Thanks for being part of the show, and thanks for being a friend. When we get back, Josh Suchon, voice of the Isotopes, joins us. We're talking a little baseball when we get back. You're listening to Two Men On 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is...
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth.
Welcome back to the program, Albuquerque. You're listening to Two Men On 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. Wherever you find us, whether it's Comcast 26, ProView Networks, YouTube page or Facebook page, studio519.com, talkabq.com, TuneIn app, wherever you're finding us. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for being a friend of the show. Speaking of friend of the show, OG friend of the show, voice of the Isotopes, Josh Suchon joins us right now. What's happening, my guy?
Good evening, gentlemen. What's the latest and greatest?
Oh, man, just had a lot of fun at Howie's sports page last night as we did our, air quote, celebrity industry fantasy draft live on air, which you so rudely refused to be in. And then after that, we did our friend of the show draft with a lot of prizes for friends of the show and fans out there alike.
Okay,
So
that is not accurate about me refusing to be in your draft. So let's make sure that we're accurate. What did I say?
Something, I'm not going to be in this league if Fred's in it. I think that's, something about Fred. That's all I remember.
For the record, for all of your friends of the show, I said that if you needed one more person, let me know, but I'm in enough leagues already, and so I'd rather not waste even more of my time than I'm already wasting on fantasy football.
Yeah,
But
the
now,
idea
I'm not gonna
came
lie,
to
now
us-
I kind of wish I was there, because the draft is the best part. Like, keeping up with your team is, it's a lot of work, it's a pain. The draft is the best part.
if you've ever played fantasy basketball, and if you've ever played especially fantasy baseball, you realize how easy fantasy football is. Like, it takes no effort whatsoever. There's so many less players to drool over. I mean, it's like 15 minutes twice a week, and you could manage a team all year. It's nothing compared to fantasy baseball.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I would also say that now that everything is on websites and on your phone, like, all the work is done for you. Like, they have all of these numbers and percentages and rankings. In the old days, when you had to, like, buy the sporting news and actually, like, write things down, you could actually have an advantage. I remember as a kid playing different versions of fantasy sports that are kind of different than what they are now. We would just kind of, like, make up our own rules. And if you paid attention and, collected baseball cards, you could be really good at it. But now, everything's so automated. It's hard to have a huge advantage.
Yeah, you're right, and everybody's an expert, and even with the draft rankings and all the Yahoo and Fantasy Pros and all those rankings and stuff, an absolute rookie who knows nothing about the NFL, and I'm drafting with one tonight. 3 years ago, my limey, soccer-loving friend Dion, who I'll be drafting with tonight in my last league, knew nothing about football whatsoever, and 30 minutes of advice from me, and then the rankings online, he made the playoffs every year. He's in the league now. That's how easy it is for these guys.
Isn't it something, though, how much, like, fantasy sports have just become not just a cottage industry, but a million-dollar, borderline billion-dollar industry with the number of people whose livelihood is based on fantasy sports? It's crazy.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's nuts. I mean, and it led to the rise and popularity of the NFL in general. You don't have to be from a certain part of the country, or you don't have to be raised a fan of a team. You can be a fan of all 32 teams because you have your fantasy team.
So when I was living in Los Angeles, this is before the Rams and Chargers were there. I remember, and there was a lot of talk about, the NFL coming to Los Angeles. And for a lot of people, they felt like we don't need a team because we all have fantasy football. Like the LA team is your own fantasy team. And I remember a lot of people saying, we don't want a team because then you're stuck watching that team, and there's so many transplants that move to Los Angeles that they just go to the Philadelphia bar to watch the Eagles, or they go to, the Raiders bar to watch the Raiders. And you would always get the best of the best games on local TV because you weren't forced to watch, some local team that you may not care about. And, certainly the Rams and Chargers, it's worked. $1 billion stadium, looks great, blah, blah, blah. But I found it really interesting how much fantasy football became everyone's team.
Here's the problem. Not just fantasy, not just traffic, not just all these other X's in the equation that might not lead a Californian to be a Charger or Rams fan. It's Southern California. There's literally anything in the world that you want to do, you can do. So unless you're hardcore Dodgers fan, Lakers fan, Rams fan, whatever, sports is way down on your list. There's a beach. There's a mountain. There is Hollywood. There is everything in the world you want to do getting in the way of your LA fandom.
Yeah, I would mostly agree with that. I know that I put it this way. When I moved to Los Angeles, I felt that way. And once you're there, you realize how much people really do care about their sports teams and how passionate they really were about their sports teams. And I think that when their sports teams are really good, then like you really see that. I also think that the quantity of sports teams in Southern California really kind of forces you to pick and choose. You're not just competing. Like, let's say you're the Clippers. You're not just competing against the beach and the mountains and all that. You're competing against the Lakers and the Kings and the Dodgers and USC football and soccer and like all of these other things that are going on. You're competing against all of these other sports. I mean, there's only so many entertainment dollars that can go around, even in a major metropolis like Los Angeles. And so, you might give up on a team, quote, I'm using air quotes here, like give up on a team because they're not playing very good. But it's also because there's so many other teams that you can focus on, in addition to the beach and everything else that there is to do and movie premieres and everything else that's involved in living in L.A.
We can't go all segment without talking about your Isotopes. Michael Toglia looks like he is supposed to be a Colorado Rocky, and it doesn't look like he's going anywhere. It's a small sample size, but Michael Toglia is proving that he's supposed to be there.
Yeah, the power's legit. He can definitely hit the ball long ways, and he can hit it to all fields, and he can definitely pick it at first base. And the long-term question for him is whether or not he can get on base enough, right? Because he struck out a lot in the minors, and it's really hard to hit major league pitching. So if you struck out a lot in the minors, you're going to strike out even more in the major leagues. But I like the adjustments that he's made just this year alone. And, the kid's got a chance to be really, really good, I mean, the comparisons to Todd Helton are first of all, they're definitely not fair. And they're probably not quite as accurate because Helton came up as a guy who was average first plus doubles and then became more of a home run hitter later, whereas Toglia comes up and he's more power first now, and you're hoping that the average can catch up. But I'm excited for the kid, I mean, first-round pick in 2019, and this is what you expect from first-round picks, and then the long-term thing is, okay, you got C.J. Cron, there is a DH now.
Right.
We'll see exactly how that fits in, but that's a Bud Black problem, not a Van or a Josh problem.
That is correct. Sean Bouchard is showcasing an amazing batter's eye. He's not swinging at anything out the zone, but what he is swinging at in the zone, he's not hitting with very much power. Is this just going to be a rough stretch, or is this what the Colorado Rockies might expect out of Bush?
It could be, Bouchard is interesting in that he's never been like a quote prospect, right? In like all caps. He's never been like high up on the prospect list. And if you watch him play once, he probably didn't stand out much. But when you watch him play every day, you just realize that he does everything well, right? Like there's not one tool where you go, oh my God, he has this unbelievable one tool. But all five of his tools are pretty darn good. And I think the power will be there. I think that, and again, when you look at every level that he's been at, he's been a guy where it's taken him weeks to kind of figure out each level. And he's definitely a thinker. He thinks a lot when he's out there. I mean, it even took him 3-4 weeks where he was pretty average with us for the first 3 or 4 weeks. And then once he kind of figured it out, then he was, oh my goodness, why aren't we talking more about this guy? Because he does so many things that are really well. But I do know this. When you have a really good eye, that helps immeasurably, right? When you're not getting yourself out by swinging at pitches, that gives you a chance to avoid long slumps. That gives your manager and your hitting coach just confidence that you're going to put together a good at-bat. And it gives you a fighting chance to be able to kind of survive and weather some of the tougher streaks. I know the power is there. It's probably not 30-homer power, but you never know. I mean, every year he's hitting for more power, so we'll see.
How excited are you? And does it match my level of excitement that we got the Isotopes at home for 2 straight weeks with some bonus day baseball?
Yeah, I mean, I'm. You know what? I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about minor league baseball in September last year because we had never done it, right? It used to be the season ended on Labor Day. That was that. And now we play all the way through the end of September. I really enjoyed it last year. I felt like the weather was great. I felt like because it wasn't as hot and as dry, I felt like the baseball is a little bit more normal in Albuquerque than it is in terms of like the way the ball carried. I felt like the games were really good. And anytime that I'm home for 2 weeks and I get to go grocery shopping and kind of like settle in, I'm excited. And like you said, we have a bunch of day games. We have a doubleheader tomorrow. We have some earlier starting times because of the Lobos, and so I would remind fans if they're coming out, make sure you check abqisotopes.com or the Journal or whatever to make sure that you know about the starting times, because we do have, a different starting time tomorrow because of the doubleheader and a different starting time Friday because of the Lobos. But, I'm looking forward to it. We're playing the Padres affiliate. We're playing the Dodgers affiliate. Both those two teams have a chance to go to the postseason, so they've got a lot to play for. I think it's going to be a really fun 2 weeks of baseball at the Lab.
Yeah, and it's going to be a fun day tomorrow, day-night doubleheader. Going to have a lot of fun with that. Thanks for sucking up that game and giving the boys a day off. I don't know what to do with myself. I got a Wednesday, nothing to do, doubleheader, day baseball. Thank you, Josh.
Well, you're welcome. I think that there's plenty more fantasy drafts that you could that you could do if you wanted to. I also feel like apologizing because I just don't get to work Wednesday, and you don't get as long of a shift on Friday either, because that's another day that we've had to move up because of Lobos, and there's only so many parking spaces, and you got to kind of work these things out.
Yep.
So sorry for cutting into your airtime this week.
Well, if it's going to be anybody, I'm glad it's you, Josh. Who's on the pregame?
Pregame show is Warren Schaefer. I spent a lot of time talking to him about this, the challenge system of balls and strikes. I know it is exhausting keeping up with all of the experimental rule changes, but, we played a series in Sugar Land where the home plate umpire called balls and strikes, and the pitcher, the catcher, the batter could challenge those. And so I talked to him about kind of the strategy that was involved with that. That was just last week. This week, we're back to the computer calling balls and strikes. I know it's exhausting trying to keep track of it. It's my job to keep track of it, and sometimes I can't. But I do enjoy that I've been a part of it and that I've been able to experience it myself and see these different rules and how they impact the game and what ways they don't impact the game. And anyway, so I talked to Warren about that, and we'll get his opinion about it all.
Sounds great. Can't wait to listen to it. Have yourself a great call tonight, Josh.
Thank you very much, and I'll talk to you Thursday, unless I see you in person tomorrow.
Hey, you're going to see me tomorrow. You'll see me Thursday. You'll see me Friday. I'm always up at the Lab.
All right, sounds good.
When we get back, Albuquerque Journal's Jeff Grammer joins us. We're talking chili races and La Bamba. You're listening to 2 Men On 95.9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal.
This report is...
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company. Dream style roofing tops them all. When your roof's worn out and needs to be replaced, we're gonna do it right, put a smile on your face. There at home, things are looking up when you get your roof done by someone you can trust. Dream Style, a company name that's been around forever. No one does it better. You need a new roof, you know who to call. Dream Style Roofing tops them all.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
And welcome back to the program. Great show so far. Thanks for all the guests joining me today on a special Van and Friends episode as I'm here all alone. Studio 519 downtown, ProView Networks studio. You're listening to Two Men On, and we are live from the John Lopez Real Estate and Coldwell Banker Legacy Studio. We are powered by New Mexico Pinon Coffee. We play on Team I-9. We start our days at the YMCA, and we finish our days at Hollow Spirits with a nice little cocktail. Mondays are for the boys at Howie's Sports Page, and every weekend we're sipping on that Watermelon Walk-Off by Teller Vodka, New Mexico's vodka. Albuquerque Journal's Jeff Grammer in the house. What's happening, my guy?
Hey, how's it going, man?
I hate stealing minutes from the great and powerful Jeff Grammer, but we're running over a little bit, so let's just dive right into this hard-hitting journalism that we're about to present to the friends of the show.
Let's do it.
If there was a La Bamba reboot, who plays Ricky Valens?
Ooh, I mean,
why is
to
it
be
Daniel
totally honest,
Day-Lewis?
like, why not go Lou Diamond Phillips again?
Oh, okay, sweet. Just do some CGI?
I'm telling you, man, that guy ages pretty good. I think he could still pull it off. I'll think about that. I'm going to give you a better answer than that. But man, Richie Valens could still pull. Lou Diamond Phillips could still pull some Richie Valens.
Yeah, I believe it. He looked good. Did I ever tell you this story about I played poker with Lou Diamond Phillips at Sandia?
Yeah, you did. Yeah. And so was it when he was filming? He was filming something here, right?
Yeah, something up north. I forget the name of the program.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, my vote is for either Daniel Day-Lewis or Idris Elba.
Works. Yeah, I can see Daniel Day-Lewis wanting that role. That's the role of a lifetime for him.
It really is. So have you cracked the code on the chili races? Does anybody gamble against you at all in the chili races? Because you're just such a handicapper on these things, you basically know what's coming.
So I've picked Taco 100% of the time this season,
okay.
Just kind of riding it out. And you may be surprised to know that I am not in first place in the standings here in the press box at Isotopes Park, but I should be because Taco should win every night. I don't know what their problem is. And this being Tuesday, if Taco doesn't win on a Tuesday, I don't know what their problem is.
Oh, my goodness, that's got a really good point. If you ever want to see, you can't make it to the lab, and you want to see the chili races, just check out Jeff Grammer's Twitter, and you get a whole living history of all the chili races. And, boy, am I stoked to catch up on that when I can't make it out to the lab. I can't make it out to the lab tonight because I have my last but not least fantasy draft, the one that I'm commissioner of with some lifetime friends. So I will be there tomorrow for the doubleheader. Are you going to be at the doubleheader tomorrow?
I won't be there tomorrow. I'm here. I'm holding it down tonight. I will not be at the doubleheader tomorrow, but I don't know who's coming from the Journal, but it will not be Jeff Grammer tomorrow night.
Oh, my goodness. Are you out in the streets tracking down a story? What's going on in Jeff Grammer's world?
So tomorrow I'm working in the office, but I am doing a story this week that I think people will absolutely drink up. They're going to – I put in a records request for all the beer sales at University Stadium for Lobo football games last year and all basketball games at the Pit. And I know what Lobo fans drink more than anything and what they eat more than anything, at least last year I know. And do you want to venture a guess what beer was consumed more than any? It was the same at University Stadium as it was in the Pit. But do you want to venture a guess or two as to what the top three were, or if you even get one of the top three?
I would love to do this, and thank you for not keeping this as your secret breaking story and involving me on my favorite subject, which is beer and sports. So, okay, I got to say, number one, the obvious answer, Bud Light.
Number two, Bud Light.
Okay.
Right?
If Bud Light is number two, I have to venture a guess. No, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, and Premier Distributing is what UNM is contracted with, so I assume Bud Light would be the no-brainer number one pick. It was not, and it wasn't, frankly, even close. The winner in both football and basketball almost doubled up Bud Light.
Okay. Let me take a wild one here and just guess Modelo?
Closer, we're in the realm.
Okay, I got to throw in the towel. If it's not Modelo and it's not Bud Light. Steph, did you have a guess?
I said Tecate Alta.
Tecate.
We're in the realm. We're in the right kind of genre of beer because the top three in both the football stadium and the Pit last year were number three, local. Well, I assume it's local. I've always assumed it'd be local, but Mass Ascension IPA.
Oh, okay.
That's number three, which kind of surprised me, but it just because it wasn't one of the national brands. But number two, Bud Light, and number one by a surprisingly large margin, Dos Equis.
Dos Equis. Okay, I figured it would have been one of the Mexican lager brands. So
Yeah.
Dos Equis is the champion of Albuquerque. When does the rest of the story come out, Jeff?
So I think it'll be in Thursday, either Thursday's paper or Friday, the day of the game with Boise State. But I can also tell you that the number one food at both the Pit and actually no, there was a different number one food in the Pit and the football stadium. The Pit loves their large popcorn, and the football stadium loves their Lobo dogs.
Oh, Lobo dogs would have been my guess. I would have nailed that one. Speaking of nailed, you nailed that segment. Jeff Grammer, where can the friends of the show find you on air and online?
I'm on Twitter way too much, at Jeff Grammer. That's Jeff with the G. And you can find me on Twitter. I link all my stories and stuff for the Journal there.
There it is. Friend of the show, friend in real life, Jeff Grammer. Congratulations. We didn't get to talk fantasy because we're up against it, but I want to pick your brain on the fantasy year sometime soon. Jeff Grammer, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
When we get back, we're talking a little more NFL football. One more segment left, 2 men on. You're listening to 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This message brought to you by the New Mexico Department of Game.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
De Leon delivers. And that one's hit to where it won't be caught.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
A burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
Here at Clark's Pets, we understand your pets. We take meticulous time to find out more about them. Dig deep into their world to understand their needs. We do research for knowledge of each pet, so you can trust Clark's Pets to provide you the best products and service for your pets, because we work hard to understand all of their needs. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Robert Buck D. Gibson. This is Two Men On with Van Nunley and Fred Slow.
2 hours in the books, Albuquerque. One segment to go before we hand it off to Josh Sushan and your Albuquerque Isotopes. Great program today. Special Van and Friends episode where we had a bunch of heavy hitters. I want to thank them all right now. Forrest Stolting of the Isotopes, Brandon Ortega of KOB TV, Joel Luevano of the Albuquerque Aardvarks, Rob Portnoy of your UNM Lobos, John Lopez Real Estate, Josh Sushan of the Isotopes, and Jeff Grammer of the Albuquerque Journal. I love these one-off Van and Friends show because we have a bunch of more people on than we normally would have, and it's just like a different, fresh take on the show. Mix it up a little bit. Hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, friends of the show. Of course, you're listening to Two Men On. We are live from the John Lopez Real Estate and Coldwell Banker Legacy Studio. We are powered by New Mexico Pinon Coffee. We play on Team I-9. We start our days at the YMCA, and we end our days with a cocktail at Hollow Spirits. Mondays are for the boys. Monday Night Football every Monday at Howie's Sports page. And the weekends are for Teller Vodka, New Mexico's vodka. Had the fantasy draft at Howie's last night. Had a lot of fun with it. We're really excited for this new partnership with Howie's, which since I've moved to Albuquerque, I've been here 15 years, or right below 15 years. Howie's Sports page has always been my favorite sports bar. It's charming. It's dark. It's got all the amenities you want out of a sports bar, but just a little sprinkle of divey, a sprinkle of originality. I love me some Howie's, and if you've never been, you're missing out on an absolute gem. Earlier in the program, we're talking about the combined power rankings that have recently came out, and there's a group of Redditors that throw together all of the power rankings from every sport, just about every sports publication. WAPO, Sporting News, Yahoo Sports, Bleacher Report, CBS, USA Today, NFL, ESPN, and they have a conglomerate of all of these votes, and they got them ranked 1 to 32. We did the top 5 earlier, and it goes Buffalo, Kansas City, which I disagree with, LA Rams, Tampa Bay, Green Bay is your top 5. But I want to talk about the bottom 5. And these are the teams that have no friggin' chance whatsoever. And those, and then the composite designations have the Atlanta Falcons as the worst team in football. And Atlanta will be bad, but I don't think Atlanta is going to be as bad as the New York Giants, as bad as the Bears, as bad as what I think is the worst team in the NFL, the Houston Texans, or, the rebuilding Seattle Seahawks. I think Atlanta has a chance. They got a good enough offense. They got Marcus Mariota, who, he's not a game changer, but Marcus Mariota can still do it with his legs. He can do it with his arms. He's got Kyle Pitts, some other young weapons. I think Atlanta's going to squeak out a couple wins. But the Seattle Seahawks, Houston Texans, New York Giants, I think these guys might go winless. We might have the first season where there are two winless teams in the NFL. And how do you do the first round? Just coin flip for the first pick of the 2 worst teams of all time. Houston's going to be horrible. Seattle's going to be horrible. And poor Seattle. I mean, they got those wide receiver weapons, and they got a couple great defensive players. But as a whole unit, Seattle's going to be really bad. Seattle's going to be bad for a few years. And Seattle, it might lose one of the most fervent fan bases in all of sports, the 12th man up there in Seattle. 12th man's going to be pissed for a few years. So hopefully the hardcore fans stay along with their Seattle Seahawks. The Chicago Bears, they have a really bad offensive line. They don't have a Bears-like Bearsy defense. They got a young stud, Justin Fields, who I think he can do anything you want in a modern NFL. He's got a cannon for an arm. He's one of the fastest quarterbacks in the NFL. He can make any throw on the field. But is his mind there yet? Can he make those reads, and can he make them fast? Because the Bears' offensive line, you could just go right on through. They're open for business. Abierto todo días. The Bears are going to be bad, but just having Justin Fields, he can make plays. The Bears are going to win a few games. They're going to be bad. They're going to get beat up on by the Packers and the Vikings in their own division. Here's where it gets interesting for me, because your bottom 5, Atlanta, Seattle, Houston, Chicago, and the New York Giants. I think those are unequivocally the 5 worst teams. I agree with this composite assessment here. But who they have, the 6th worst team in football, I wildly disagree with, as the Jacksonville Jaguars were voted the 6th worst team in the NFL. Here's some teams that are ahead of Jacksonville. The Jets, Detroit, Carolina, Washington. And then once we hit Cleveland and New England, that's when all these playoff contenders start arising on this list. I have Jacksonville as going around 500 somewhere. They improved on their offensive line. They have second-year superstar Trevor Sunshine Lawrence throwing the football. This guy, I think he's going to be a stud. He's going to be a great football player for years to come. They've improved their offensive line. They've improved the weapons around Trevor Lawrence. He gets his college teammate and potential stud running back. And I think Jacksonville is going to win a lot of close games because they have an underrated defense. And now with all the drama of last season behind them, I see Jacksonville having a lot of W's on their schedule that you didn't expect them to have. Watch out for Jacksonville. I'm not saying they're a playoff contender. I'm not saying Jacksonville has an outside shot at the Super Bowl. I think that's a pipe dream. But Jacksonville is going to take a huge step forward this year. They're going to flirt with 500. And if a few things break their way, then they have a chance at the playoffs. Here in the middle of the division, I think anyone in between 21st ranked New England and all the way to number 6, Cincinnati. All of these teams in the middle have playoff aspirations. I think once you get past Jacksonville, all of these teams have a shot. New England at 21, Pittsburgh at 20, Miami, Tennessee, Arizona, Minnesota, New Orleans, Dallas, Vegas, Indianapolis, Denver, Philadelphia, Baltimore, San Francisco, LA Chargers, Cincinnati Bengals. Anybody in this group, this middle tier, who's not the top 5 and who's not the bottom 5, I think any team out of here can emerge. Miami, for example, they got the offensive weapons around Tua. It's prove-it year for Tua. If Tua can't do it with these offensive weapons, he's not going to be able to do it at all. He's got Tyreek Hill. He's got Jalen Waddle. He's got Matt Gesicki. He's got a stable of talented NFL running backs to help him out. If Tua can't do it this year, Miami has to move on because Tua is set up for success. If Miami is not successful this year, it's either injuries or it's Tua Tagovailoa's arm. I do have Miami missing the playoffs, but with that offensive group, they got to get it done this year. Pittsburgh, with their quarterback situation, I don't see them making the playoffs. Tennessee, I think they're going to have a down year. I don't see them making the playoffs. But everyone else in this next tier, here's your playoff teams. These guys are going to be in the trenches. To me, I see 17 or 18 teams in the NFL this year that's going to be competing for playoff berths and Super Bowl rings. So it's going to be a fun year in the NFL. Kicks off this Thursday with the first Thursday night football, Bills and Rams. That's going to be a crazy matchup. I got the Rams winning this one because the Rams are coming off that Super Bowl high. The Rams know how to do it. The Bills are going to be the best team in the AFC. I've said that over and over again, but I have Rams eking out a close one in the opener. Thanks for a great show. Thanks for guests. Forrest Stolting, Brandon Ortega, Joel Luevano, Rob Portnoy, John Lopez, Josh Sushon, Jeff Grammer. Thanks, Steph, behind the glass and Cumulus. Thanks, Adrian, behind the glass right here at ProView Networks. Heck of a show today. No show tomorrow. Isotopes doubleheader kicking us off the air. We will see you on Thursday, and we will see you on Friday live at the lab. You've been listening to 2 Men On 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
De Leon delivers. And that one's hit to where it won't be caught. He hit that one so high that he touched base before it touched the ground. Puts that one into right, and it's going to travel a little bit all the way to the scoreboard and over. And I told you he's a competitor. That one's hit deep into left. Oh, wee. The new pitchers. And that one's hit into deep left, and it's not going to be catchable. Hit deep into right center. That is a home run. 3 of them in one swing for the home team. Big swing there, and the bat gets away. Here's the delivery. Got him looking. Up the middle. 4-6-3. And out of the inning are the Cowboys as Van Curler comes in and he erases any threat that could have been there. That one's hit into right center. I think he got it. Kuhn over the fence. Solo shot. Playing some of the reserves today. Right at second and doubled off in time at first.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.